story. Now, the leader of Greece's left-wing Syriza bloc is continuing attempts to form a government. Alexis Tsipras is meeting the two mainstream parties, PASOK and New Democracy, who both supported Greece's multi-billion-dollar international bailout. However, Mr. Tsipras says he will try to form a coalition based on tearing up the terms of that deal. Well, joining me now, live from Athens, is Elena Panaritis, former MP and advisor to the Greek government. Thanks for joining us, Elena Panaritis. Is there any chance of PASOK joining forces with the far left?
Well, of course there is a chance, but I don't think the numbers don't suggest that even if we do form a coalition with the far left, we will be able to have a regular or whatever running government, because the numbers don't add up. There is no possibility of having a government of coalition without New Democracy and without the European left, we call it, is not really the far left.
So,
Mr. Tsipras.
Okay, that puts the country in a very difficult position, surely, particularly when you look at the next tranche of the bailout, which is due soon.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we managed to get ourselves in this glorious trap of early elections. We were all very much afraid of the outcome, and unfortunately, you know, that's the outcome. And part of it is the fact that there is a risk we may not actually get our bailout money, which is that first tranche after the signature of the second loan. It is indeed a risk.
It's a very serious risk, isn't it? I mean, you seem to have the paradoxical situation.
We may default.
Yeah, where most Greek people say they would like to stay in the euro, but they don't want the financial pain that comes with the deal.
You know, I think what is really important to explain to everybody, including the Greeks as well as those that are outside, such as yourselves, is that the problem is not really the memorandum of understanding of the bailout loan itself, but the fact that we started from the wrong footing. In other words, we diagnosed the crisis as a very regular liquidity crisis that happens in economic cycles, and a bit of an austerity program of about a year would take us out of it. Unfortunately, this is a deep-rooted crisis of it's a crisis related to our productive capacity. It's a solvency crisis that requires very deep reforms, very long-term reforms, and serious structural reforms that take time. So when we don't start from the right footing, then we end up having more and more and more austerity measures and austerity reforms, if you want to call them so, that led us to the confusion where the actual Greek citizen is really confused about whether or not his 50% reduction of salary and pension is an outcome of the economic crisis, or is it an outcome of the austerity measures?
Elena,
so it's hard to convince people to vote us.
Yeah, Elena Panaritis, in 20 seconds, that's all we've got left. How do you see the next few weeks unfolding? Any room for optimism at all?
Well, the next few weeks are going to be very challenging. I'm hoping very much that we will have a government formed by the end of the week with the two big forces, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay, Elena Panaritis, thank you very much for joining us from Athens.